Hello, I'm Brian.
And I'm Justin. Welcome to our ginseng farm. I think the best part of growing ginseng is caring for something for multiple years without seeing a fruit or labor of your harvest. You're learning to develop patience and understanding that not all things happen all at once. It takes time for anything that is of quality to develop.
There's a saying, you plant the seed and it wants to die before it even grows. And that's so true. It comes up and you're fighting it all the way till harvest.
There are many challenges in growing ginseng, and the most significant obstacle is that it is very susceptible to weather and Mother Nature. So ginseng requires the right amount of sun, as well as nutrients, moisture, and soil conditions to grow.
Ginseng does not like direct sunlight. It dries up, it dies.
As you can see, we are using a cloth, and it's used to shade ginseng, simulating its natural low-light habitat.
And then once that's done, then it's just maintenance. Weeding it, scouting it, checking out what's going on in there. It's a lot of work, it's stress. Make sure your site's good enough for drainage, just those kinds of things to keep it alive.
Making sure you have the right dynamics of nutrients in the soil is vital. Not to mention ginseng, you can typically only grow it one plot of land, one time. So southwestern Ontario, with the advent of the Great Lakes surrounding it, it's a unique soil type where it's the right mix of very nutrient-dense soil and also relatively sandier soils, and that's where ginseng typically thrives and grows best. It's a slow-growing root, so it takes multiple years for it to grow. Typically, you harvest ginseng in the fall. The process involves removing all the shade and the garden, so all of the hardware associated with it. From that point, you actually plow the beds clear of the foliage, of all the leaves that you see on top of the beds. And then from that point, you go in with a machine that will dig the root and plop the ginseng root onto a conveyor belt that shakes the root. We pick the root and then bring it to the next stage, which is a 2-week cooling process. This results in a root that is more desirable and a higher quality product. Next, it gets washed and graded. The clean ginseng is then placed into kilns where it is dried for a period of time. Once it comes out of the drying process, it gets graded and sorted again, and then it gets boxed for bulk distribution, and then we have some small packaging for select higher quality roots as well.
Once it's harvested and dried, it comes into our facility where it sits here until it's processed. Hi, my name is Shelling Ye, and welcome to Grey Mountain Ginseng. Step 1 is to get it defibered. We have tumblers that tumble, and then the ginseng fiber comes down and is removed from the actual root. From there, the second thing we do is you put it onto the table, and then we just start grading into the different sizes, different shapes. Next, we move on to the cutting process. A root, it looks like a body with a bunch of different legs. They cut the legs off, and then they leave the body intact. And then the body is then regraded, and then the legs are then reprocessed or regraded into large, medium, small. Then what we do is anything that we need sliced, we'll get it sliced into different sizes, and then from there we go into the packaging. The smallest pieces that we slice goes into the tea bag machine room. If it doesn't need to be processed, let's say someone buys raw ginseng, we'll get it loaded into containers and shipped out. Ontario ginseng is the highest quality Panax quinquefolius ginseng in the world. Panax quinquefolius is grown in other places, Wisconsin and China. We grow the best and we grow the most. The soil, the environment, everything is so much better here. Canadian ginseng is very good for things like diabetes. So the Canadian Diabetes Association says it's good for controlling sugar levels. It's good for memory. It's good for ADHD, it's good for immune systems, your breathing systems, it's good for your digestion. It's been in traditional Chinese medicine for hundreds of years.
I wanted to be a ginseng farmer because it gave an opportunity to build on the legacy and impact that the foundation that my parents and grandparents had built here. Thanks for visiting our ginseng farm today.